Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're in the garage working on the 1997 883, tackling a pretty common issue, especially when people put on new bars or whatever. They never torque or over torque or cross thread or whatever the clutch cable that goes into the primary, so it leaks right there. So usually it leaks right from the O-ring area. As you can see on this one, it kind of wiggles a little bit. You can actually turn it by hand. So I think the O-ring and everything inside is good. We're going to take it apart and put it back together. So first you want to put all the slack in the cable. Next you want to take apart the lever section, take off any zip ties or connections down the line here, and then disconnect it from your primary, which we'll have to take the derby cover off, take apart the clutch release mechanism, and then put it all back together. So let's get to it. So first what you want to do is break apart the jam nut from the adjuster and move that away from the adjuster, and then bring your adjuster to the jam nut, which in turn will lengthen your line, put all the slack back in your cable. Okay. So next what I want to do is take apart this, disconnect that, the cable. There's a C-clip underneath here, so I'm going to have to take these off. See that there? There's that C-clip. Gotta get that off. You really don't want to lose this C-clip. It's super hard to find, rolling around on the shop floor. And I don't have a tool to do it, so a screwdriver works. And there she goes. Now, that barrel will come out. That's the bottom where the C-clip was on. And it should just pop out, just like that. Okay. And this is a little plug. It just pops out, a little plastic plug, and that comes off. Okay. Alright, so now that that's all apart, cable's free up until, some zip ties and whatnot. You just want to make sure it's free all the way down to where it connects to the primary. Now that that's completely free, you want to take off your derby cover, which I believe is a T30. I'll go and do that now. Now be careful, this derby cover is spring loaded on the inside, so you'll see when you pull this off. So there's that spring loaded, it's like a spring nut, and that wants to pop off. And now we'll be taking apart this is the clutch release mechanism. Now this spring just pops off. You kind of just clean this up. Here's the seal, the O-ring. Alright. Okay, now what you want to do with this is it's reverse threaded, so to loosen it, you go righty-tighty. Take that off. Now this piece will come out. It's the clutch release mechanism. There's a couple ball bearings in here, just don't lose them. So just reach in, pinch it a little bit, and pop it out like that. Okay, so now we're going to take this apart. And all that does is twist until it pops off. Okay. That aside. Now for this guy, just literally, that's all it is. And just remember how it came apart. The next step is to twist the cable and just back it off, unthread it,
So the whole thing's a sealed unit, so it all has to come out at once. There it goes. Okay. So that's all you want to do is take a rag. Okay. Clean up the threads a little bit, and just check out this O-ring. Seems pretty darn good. It's not chewed up or anything. So it looks all good. So what I'm going to do is going to put some thread locker on here. Doesn't have to be a lot at all. Just a little bit on the end, so then when you thread it through, it just makes its way through all the threads, and you're good. Okay. So now you want to put this in, and this is the tricky part. You get it, just getting it started, because like I said, you have to spin the whole deal all at once. The whole cable. .7/16, and you just want to snug this up just so it's not going to go anywhere. You don't want to gorilla tighten it down. There. Nice and solid, not going anywhere. And then we just got to put this back together the same way it came out, and we're laughing. If you remember how we took this apart, first took off this piece, and this was simple enough, it just went on like that. Okay. Next, took this off. Okay, and you can tell which way it goes because there's one of those C-clips on that side, and this side is shaped like that spring nut, I guess you want to say. And the way this goes on, just like that, okay? Just literally pops on and off. Just turn it and it slides in. And then this turns up, and there's a little notch that fits right in there. And it just slides on. Just be careful you don't lose anything. Like I said, there's ball bearings in here. Just keep it all within tension.
So what you want to do next is put back in this nut or whatever it is. It's reverse threaded, so the way we took it off was spinning it right, so righty-tighty. That's actually taking it off. So to put it on, we do lefty-loosey, and that'll thread it in.
So what you want to do is tighten this until you feel resistance. So it's all free and dandy, right? And then you just feel that resistance right there. And you back it off a quarter turn. Boom. And you're done. So feel that resistance, quarter turn. Right there. Okay. That's good. Now I'll just put the O-ring back on here, the seal here. Slap the cover back on, and we are done at this end.
So next you want to put in the spring-loaded nut, and it's slotted, it only goes on one way.
And then you want to put your cover back on. So line it all up, put it on.
Screws need to be torqued down to 7 to 9 foot-pounds, so just literally just snug them up. And you want to tighten those down in a cross pattern. Now that all the lower stuff is done, you want to move up to here and reassemble your lever.
What you want to do
first, you want to put in that plastic barrel like so. Then your clutch cable and lever will slide right in here.
Okay. Alright. This barrel will pop right down in there. Okay. And that is where your C-clip pops on the bottom.
So if your lights are up here like mine, you want to reattach them. At the same time, reattach your mirror.
Now what you want to do is you want to take, so there's so much free play in the lever here.
So the first step we did was we moved the jam nut away from the cable adjuster and then moved the cable adjuster towards the jam nut to put all the slack back into line. And now this step, you want to do the reverse of that. So you want to move the adjuster away from the jam nut and then move the jam nut down to the adjuster to take all the slack out of the line, essentially make it shorter.
So as you can see, there's a lot less play in here. Eventually get to the point where you pull this cable out about 1/8 of an inch. So you pull it, it's right smack dab up against this housing, and you can pull this right out. See that gap? You want about they say about a 1/16 to an eighth of an inch. So base, 1/8 of an inch, you're safe. Bring down that jam nut, snug it up against the other one. There you go. And then slide your boot back up over top. Nice and easy. And you're done.